Well, I started up the El Camino today. It seems like the clutch works fine, but I'm near the end of my adjustment, and I was almost near the end of my adjustment before I put the new clutch in it. You know, I think there's some worn components in there. I ordered another rod that is, you know, the tip of it could wear out. Plus, probably even the ball at the clutch arm is a little worn out too, probably. And there could be slight variances in the clutch itself. I noticed on the other clutch, these were, like, you see how they come up straight? These were like bent in a little bit. In other words, this would hit in there flatter. And, I don't know. Then you put the, I know I had the throwout bearing in there, correct? Of course, it's on the clutch arm and just goes this way, the big side to that. And I have, it wouldn't even release if I had it in wrong, but this, I actually showed it on another video. I wasn't sure. I was like thinking it goes that way. I was thinking this fits in there. No, that's not how you do it. The flat side goes to the, you see there's a raised side and there's a flat side. The flat side goes to the flywheel. And this doesn't say it on there, but the other one even said this side to flywheel. It actually said it on there, so I know I had that in there, right? But I was thinking, how come I'm out of a clutch adjustment? And I had to make it work, I had to put it in the next hole up on the lever, which is actually, it's like an adjustment hole. You take out all the play with the rod in that hole, and then you move it to the next one down, and that should be perfect. But what I did was I ordered another rod, and if I got to make it longer, I'm going to get some adapters out of, what do you call it, Lowe's. But I think it could be a combination of the flywheel and the clutch itself. The flywheel could be a little more in, which would do it. The clutch, these things here, I noticed on the new one, they're kind of like, they don't go like this, they go, and then in the end they have a little, it's like that on my finger. It's like that instead of being like that, these arms. It goes like that. That could be a little space. Plus, I do have worn components. I know I rebuilt the Z-bar, but I never did nothing with the pivot ball inside the bell housing. Or that, like I said, I'm going to change that little arm, that little pointer arm that pushes on it. I got that part coming in. But it does work, and I got a new, I didn't even see a return spring on the damn thing. This is laying on the floor there somewhere, but it's in there and it works. And if I got to put a heavier one in, I have to put a heavier one in later. I don't know. I just put a stock one in for now. And I got the new springs in the back there. These are the old ones. I had these old springs that were sagging since I had this thing in 1991. You notice I had these little rubber things in here. These are pretty damn easy to change. You just have to disconnect the shock on the back. I don't even want to crawl under it. It's kind of wet right now, but if you see it, see that shock right there? You disconnect that one bolt, and then just let the wheel hang down, and you can pull out the spring. I don't know if you can see the spring in there, but maybe. Well, it's in there. So the new springs are in there. But man, I was kind of like just freaking wondering what the hell's going on here. Why is it okay? Why I couldn't adjust the clutch, but it works. I put the car in, you know, the parking brake on, and I put it in first. Then about halfway up, it engages, or you know, so it doesn't engage really high up, but it doesn't engage. It doesn't engage near the floor either. So it's about halfway. Could be a little higher than that, but. You know, I got one more part coming. I'm not going to take the whole thing apart and freaking change that pivot ball. But it could actually, like I said, it could be slight variances in the way the clutches are manufactured. You know, I got a really cheap-ass clutch, man. It was like 50 bucks or something. 50, 60 bucks. That's all that one was. The only thing I got to do is put that little cover thing on the front of the bell housing. I'm probably going to cut it with the cutoff wheel because I don't want it to go around the starter. That's a pain in the ass if you ever want to take it off. I'm going to look for a return spring. But it's been raining out here like crazy, and I scared my little kitty cats. Here's one of them right here. You're a feather, aren't you? Or wait a minute. Hi. Your ears are back, boo-boo. That's Feather. She's got the long fur. Hi. Okay, sweetheart. I know I was going to disturb you. That's why I was waiting. Pouring out rain here, too. But there could be slight variances in... You know, I got the cheapest crap going, actually. Flywheel was like... Even though they made a mistake on that flywheel, the freaking thing was so cheap. There was like, one was 51. They're both 51 bucks. So I got an extra flywheel that works with a 400 small block or a 383. Rock Auto screwed up on that, and they got no menu to like say you screwed up. Your part is wrong on the online. It really was. It really was wrong. You look up a 305 78 El Camino flywheel, 1978 305 El Camino. They showed a 168 tooth flywheel. That's for a 400 small block. I think it also works with the 383 stroker because it uses the 400 crank. That's the flywheel you use with the externally balanced small block, which is like a big small block. It's a 400. I think the 383 is the same way too. But the 305 and the 350, they used the 153 tooth flywheel. And they definitely had that listed wrong. And it was the only option. It wasn't like I could pick two of them. That one said it's a 168 one. So I was like, you know, you yo-yos, man. And so I just kept it because maybe one day there will be a 383 in this thing. I don't know. Who knows? And yeah, I probably will paint it. But you know, you got to watch with painting out here. It's like I'm usually too damn busy, and the weather is windy. You know, I got to be doing this outside, so I'm gonna be doing it in sections whenever I get to do that. I think the only thing I want to do now is maybe do the carpet, but I definitely want to do the these things, these window sweeps that go in here, at least the external ones, because water pours down inside my door, and that's not good. It gets the window regulator all wet and stuff. So I do that. But the transmission should be, I put the shift shaft seals on it before. The front seal seems fine. I didn't freaking mess with it. Did the rear seal. The rear seal really didn't leak much. I'm going to put this main seal on the back of this engine. It's got a leak in it, but it's not really, I don't know how bad it is. It's, I'm going to put some of that Blue Devil rear main seal sealant stuff. It's made specifically for that. See the wind out there. It probably may work. And I know the short block on this thing is at least had new bearings and rings in it. I'm not sure what else they did to it. It was a long time ago. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put engine restore in it too every year. So it runs good with the cam and it stuff. You know, and that's, I'm going to really get by cheap. Cheap safe covers, and yeah, I'll do the paint, but I'm not going to, you know, go nuts with it, you know. So, but just beware that this was a $50 clutch set, I think, 50 or 60 bucks. It wasn't even, I know it wasn't 70. It just could have been a little bit, made a little bit different, and a flywheel was only 51 bucks. And that was, you know, besides probably still having some worn clutch linkage components in there, that really is why I was out of adjustment. I actually had to put it up in the next hole on the lever, which is not really, that's supposed to be a hole where you adjust it, and then you put it, you know, you take all the play out of it, and then you put it in the bottom hole. But I got it that way, and then like I said, when I get the new little push rod, threaded push rod thing, if it's a little longer, because you know this one could have worn down. I mean, that's part of the reason. But if it's not, if it's not long enough, I'm gonna go get a threaded bolt and a sleeve, one of those long sleeves like that, with Loctite red, and make a longer bolt out of it, and I'll have plenty of adjustment because it does seem to work fine. doesn't seem like there's any problem with it at all. So, shit, it's like, you know, parts are coming from China and Mexico, and probably Mexico, I don't know, probably Mexico is better than China for all I know, because at least, man, this, like, it ain't like back in the day when shit was, like, made, like, even OEM was made better than it needed to be. So, anyway, over and out. So, yeah, shit, it started right up, runs fine, and the clutch grabs about halfway up. I mean, I don't know. Screw it, man. But, like I said, I don't really have it on the exact right clutch adjustment hole. And, I find that return spring might be underneath there. I don't really need it right now, though. I'll probably put that little cover on the bell housing that I got and make it so I can take it off with without taking out the starter. I'm going to cut that hole out there. It's going to cut even though it's brand new, I'm going to modify it a little bit because I don't want to, if I have to take that little inspection cover off of the flywheel, I don't want to have to take the starter out. That's freaking asinine. So, yeah, I put everything together with Loctite too, so fill the transmission up, grease the U-joints. I don't know. Did every nitpicky thing. I raised the exhaust up a little higher. It was sitting a little low. Probably still sitting a little low, but I raised it up a couple more inches closer to the floor. That was another thing I did. So, not too freaking bad. But I was working on it very late last night because it's cooler at night. Right now it's pretty cool, but it's freaking wet. It's a problem, man. So, Florida's got the problem where if you're working in shorts, it's okay. But then again, if you're working in shorts when you're laying on the floor or the ground, your legs are getting greasy and stuff. So I like wearing a black t-shirt and a black pair of sweatpants. But if it's like 90-something degrees out, wearing a black pair of sweatpants, you are hot. Ugh, God. So I like working at night, real late at night. At least it gets down to the 70s, so you're pretty good there. The place where I get my aftermarket clutch linkage parts, not the clutch, is 4-speed conversions. All one word. All one word. You see that piece there, that black piece? You can see that circle in it, like that. I'm cutting that circle off the side there because that's where the starter goes in. You got to take the starter out to put that in there every time. I'm like, screw that shit. So, but I got that from them. And I got the brackets and stuff. So I ordered the, if you can see, well, you won't see it under there. I don't want to go under there, man. It's all wet and shit. But I got to crawl under that way. I ordered the other piece. It's like looks like a bolt with a point on it. And the point might be worn down 1/4 inch or something. I don't know. So I ordered that. That might actually be part of my problem too. But if it's not, I might leave this up on the stands here for a while until I get the return spring in that part and make sure it's, you know, it's good to go 100%. I just think I do think that this. I'll look up the price on this clutch, man. I know the flywheel was freaking. It's this shit, you know, Lux. It's not an expensive clutch. I'll look it up. I know the flywheel was 51 bucks. Okay, so my memory didn't serve me absolutely perfect. The flywheel was $53 and change instead of 51, and the whole entire clutch kit was $68.79, $68 and change. That includes the pilot bearing, the drive bearing, you know, the pressure plate in the clutch, and that little plastic thing that lines it up. So that was a cheap-ass clutch kit, so it's probably part of the reason I don't have as much adjustment as I should, in combination of having worn-out parts. You can see this is why I'm not crawling under this car right now, because every 2 minutes, it's doing this stuff. The damn thing works as it is, and like I said, I just want to make sure, you know, I'm going to wait till I get those parts from 4-speed conversions, make sure it's, you know, right exactly the way I want it, you know.